Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. I am Coach Les, and this is Life's Podcast with SUJATA and Coach Les. And just to give you a little bit of background, SUJATA is an author, has written the book Against All Odds, No Retakes, No Manuals, Real Life Lessons. Legal Life Manual, do you live in the jungle with animals or live in civilized society? If in the latter, this book is for you. Are you a victim or a survivor? Survive and protect yourself from gender discrimination, cultural biases, belittling with home, educational to professional, workplace, mental, verbal, physical, emotional, exploitation, rape, and all kinds of sexual abuse. Trapped or stifled in unhappy marriage, parent-child discord, years of working with bad bosses, compromise on a daily basis. Are you a prisoner of the moment? Do you want to run away, feel suicidal? Politics of the universe, society? Don't let it shackle you. When you are pushed to the wall, push back. When you have nothing to lose, then give yourself that one chance and take a courageous step. Don't give up. It's hard, very hard, but courage and self-belief will open doors. Gather inspiration from my journey, and trust me, you can do it. All of us can be leaders. All we have to do is nudge that dormant factor. Giving in is easy. Tenacity and resilience are words to describe that one moment when you decide to take action, even if it is swimming against the tide or against all odds. No matter what the problem, I am your partner to overcome the challenge and turn it into a stepping stone to progress. Leaders walk the talk and should be accessible to make a difference in people's lives. Money cannot do that. Care can. Do you care for yourself or others? I care for others. SUJATA has accumulated a wealth of experiences during her life, leading to insights and knowledge that cannot be coached or taught in a class. She's been a mother, wife, journalist, consultant, activist, leader, and businesswoman domestically and internationally. In sharing her story, SUJATA strives to provide readers of all backgrounds in any part of the world with real-life examples on how to deal with the unpredictable nature of everyday life. And with that, I welcome SUJATA Tiwari. Hello, SUJATA. She's muted at the moment, but she did say hello.
I did say hello. I'm sorry I got muted, but yes. It takes two to tango, and I don't know. I think there's only the two of us in the room, in Clubhouse at least.
That's it. And that's okay. It is what it is. And life will happen, because what I know about this is there was one person that came in and took a quick peek and then potted off.
Right.
And that's, the way I look at it. There's a lot going on. It's Friday night. And part of what we do is set this up so that 50 minutes from now, we have an hour of podcasts for people to listen to. And if nobody comes in, I can guarantee you we will talk about life. We'll talk about the stuff that SUJATA and I talk about many times during the week in different venues, walking the dogs, driving a car, being in the hot tub, all types of different places. And we're 180 degrees away from each other. She's in Singapore and I'm here in Minnesota, good old United States of America. And the idea with having this podcast was that we would bring our unique views on life, our edgy views on life, and come and have this room on a Friday night, keep us entertained, have fun with it, and share opportunities for people to come in and join and ask questions about different parts of life, as I said before. So tonight, one of the things that I thought might be a fun thing to discuss and kind of take a look at. Well, first of all, ladies first, always. Is there anything that you had touched base on that you thought we might speak about tonight, SUJATA?
I had, but I'm curious to hear what you have in mind.
Well, ladies first, like I said.
No,
So,
no, no, no. There's no gender thing here. You please tell me because I want to know what you had in mind.
oh, I just was going to look at the opportunity of how to choose a coach and what are some of the things that you can do to um, support yourself and finding somebody to support you in this journey called life, and look at some of the ideas of why even have a coach. I mean, I have 3 of them, and I have a board of directors governing my butt. So, why all this? So that was one of the conversations I've wanted to have for a while. And since there's no one here, I thought, oh, it'd be a perfect time to discuss why coaching.
Okay. And
What
we
what
can
was
tie it in with what I had in mind, which is loyalty versus generosity.
loyalty versus generosity? Okay. So just because that's going to be an interesting one, what is your distinction between loyalty and generosity?
Loyalty is whether you resonate or you believe in something or not, but you're associated with somebody, so you would take action of supporting, even if not 100% you agree, but to support a person's endeavors, efforts, and all. You would make all the actions that you can do in being loyal to that person. That's loyalty, always defending persons or sticking up for the person, or just promoting and supporting. Generosity for me is not only generosity of money, it's of the spirit. So nobody is coming to you and asking you that can you help me, can you support me, but you instinctively know, and you would be generous enough to do things which lot in the selfish world a lot of people don't do. That means that without being asked, you would be generous in giving your support, in appreciating people, or bringing people forward, knowing that they have a lot to offer. And when it comes to money, even if you have less or none, and you still make efforts to help somebody by giving that money, that I think is generosity.
Hmm. Okay, well, I'm gonna do the what I call the easy way out here, and share. Um, go to my lovely friend called Google, and I always look at finding the difference, and having Google say, what is the difference between loyalty and generosity, and see what it answers. Um, and the first answer that comes from a site called becomeanindividual.com. And it says, being generous with our time, money, and resources helps others improve as well as. Loyalty is a strong feeling of support or allegiance. So when we look at the meaning, um, it's so funny when you look sometimes, and you ask uh, Google, loyalty versus generosity, and it doesn't give you a very good. Here we go. Now I'll get a better answer. I was being lazy. Oh, it gave. That's hilarious. It gave me the exact same ones when I changed the question, Sujata, to what is the difference between loyalty and generosity. It gave me almost the same websites. Very interesting. Well, let's take a look. Generous means liberal in giving or sharing, free from meanness or smallness of mind or character, magnanimous, large, abundant, ample, rich or strong in flavor, fertile and prolific. And now if we look up loyalty, the state or quality of being loyal, faithfulness to commitments or obligations, faithful adherence to a sovereign, government, or leader, an example or instance of faithfulness, adherence, or the like. A man with fierce loyalties. So for me, I think the key here is to share that I see loyalty as being in adherence to a code, in adherence to a set of structures, in saying I'm loyal to a code, I'm loyal to a person, and in that loyalty, it brings a sense of commitment, a sense of a sense of commitment, a sense of honor, a sense of dignity, all towards an ideal of, say, a village to the mayor. Being loyal to the village, it's the place that I was born. Being loyal to a country, to a flag, to a set of ideals. And then when it comes to generosity, to expand upon the idea of loyalty, and then look at, okay, so generosity is this place where we give freely, we give without expecting anything in return. And that giving can consist of mental, physical, monetary, all of those different things. And that's my 2 cents.
Perfect. We don't have to go to Google. We can define our definitions of the words.
I'm sure. I enjoy doing that because it's always fun to
Yeah.
see it.
Yes, because they sometimes don't gel with what we are thinking or feeling.
Yeah, sometimes completely different. So, all right, I think it's time for me to do a little pinging now and get some people in here. Oh, well, there's Manahar. See if he'll come in. And there's the accidental gangster. I wonder what he's up to.
Call him in.
Well, no, I'm going to avoid him.
Why?
I'm kidding. No, I don't want him in here.
My internet is very bad today. I don't know why.
Oh, is that what took you so long to get in here?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen Brandolin in forever. All right. Well, that was a big fat 0. There's a lot of rooms going on tonight, though. I did notice that. But that's okay.
It all then boils down exactly what we discuss very often is that you make the choice. And you can go into rooms out of loyalty also.
Or
I
just
don't,
being generous.
or being generous, yeah, and both can go hand in hand also. It doesn't have to be either or. It can be a combination of both.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting time. Let's just put it that way. Ah, Hardeep. Hello, hello. Come on up. Well, how are you?
Oh, doing well, Coach. How are you?
Well, now that you've showed up, Sujata and I can stop like punching each other and really get to work.
Well,
Sujata,
that's
good to see you.
hi. It's good to see you, and just to make sure, because at least I don't have a very strong, funny bone, funny bones. So Coach Les was just joking when he's saying we were punching each other. We do no such thing.
I think she knows me by now that I wouldn't be punching anybody.
Exactly.
Coach, was that a punching in the right way to give them a boost? Like you're trying to give me a boost?
Amen. Ace, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm all right.
He's my friend.
I know.
Hello, Shujata. How you doing, sister?
I'm alive, as you know.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
I was waiting for how you were going to answer that one, Ace.
Just living, man. Just keep living. That's my mother, brother used to say. My uncle, it's like, man, just keep living. You are the CEO of your life. So make the right decisions and execute upon the right decisions, right? But always keeping prayer, keeping the Lord first, keeping prayer first, asking, and then making a move when you get the confirmation. So yeah, I just been cool. I had a long week. I lost some money doing some stuff, which is cool. Lesson learned.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I can laugh because the old me, I would have probably like cut my phones off and never. I would have just went in a little hole.
Yeah.
Just being honest, and but it's been hard. I finally found me a place. Well, I found the libraries to where I can get me a study room.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I said, thank you, Lord, so much. Oh, gosh. And now I can get back to recording and I can just be doing my study. And so I'm just been so happy. Just been detailing cars all day. Went to study, took my exam while I was at the library online. And I wanted to do a podcast episode, but my daughter called me, and so I was on the phone with her, and I was just like, oh, I want to do this. I just want to get off the phone with her. I'm like, nah, talk to your little baby. She want to talk. So I'll go back tomorrow and do some solos and start reaching out to people and setting dates to get my podcast back on the road. And I'm just so happy because I'm on attack mode right now, in a positive way, that is.
Well, congratulations. I'm happy to hear it.
And I'd just like to say, Coach Les, that we were talking of loyalty and generosity, and Ace is a living example. He's very loyal and he's very generous. He's generous with his time, he's generous with his support, he's generous with everything. I mean, he may not have much, but he gives so much. And yes, he's a loyal friend. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, sister. Right, like, I am on the, if I use that word, yeah, I'm on the chase for things money can't buy, right? That's how the podcast came about. Things Money Can't Buy, the title came off just understanding of, like, living a life and making a lot of money and doing things and was fulfilling some things, but not feeling fulfilled within. So I was like, what is it? You can get the house, you bought a house, cars, you got this money, like, but something's not right. So I, of course, kept looking to the Lord, and he was just like, yo, you got the things money can't buy: motivation, being determined, loyalty, being honest, some good characteristics a person can have, and money can't buy that. You can't even buy people to act like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm in high spirits, you know. I've been on high spirits still. I just deal with things how they are, like in reality. But, yeah, it's just the main thing I'm still dealing with, Sister SUJATA, is dealing with my uncle. I'm like, this person is amazing. So I just been looking for jobs. I'll probably have a job next week to add more money to the money I have. And then I have proof of income so I can give me a little apartment and just go recording crazy, make a lot of content so we can continuously edify the body of Christ and edify people in this world that's looking for keys to unlock themselves.
Amen. That's awesome. I'm excited for you.
Yo, like, if, like, I know, like, you know, Ace, I kind of be, well, yeah, I'll be everywhere. I'll be chopping up with people and trying to wake some of the young men and, well, I ain't gonna say young men. Well, some men be young and women, but just waking up the brothers and sisters to what's going on and how much it matters to build a personal relationship with God and also yourself and execute. But I can honestly say it's people like yourselves that I've met through Clubhouse that really just, like, it really just keep me going. So motivating and yeah, the word again, edifying, is just to keep moving and don't quit. So the pressure, as I say, is to press on for sure, right? Press and sure, right? Pressure. So I thought about that. Say, well, you feeling pressure? That means it's the time to press on, keep moving forward, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Very much so.
So, what are your thoughts, Hardeep?
Hardeep, we have a fun question for the night. Are you ready?
Go ahead, Coach. You know me, man. You know me. Go ahead.
What is your explanation of loyalty versus generosity?
You're calling that a fun question? And that means I have to actually think for a minute? Okay, hold on.
Well, you could think.
Hold on for a second here.
You
No,
could.
come on, Coach.
You could think for more
That's
than.
telling me that at 8 o'clock I got to put my thinking cap on. Okay, hold on. Loyalty is when you feel that. Well, you can be a loyal friend, a loyal wife, a loyal husband, a loyal employee, is because you want to do something. You want to do good, or how do I value? But when you do something out of generosity, you do it out of heart. But sometimes generosity and loyalty can go side and side, though, because just think for a minute, loyalty and generosity can be thought from ego instead of heart. So for me, it depends on how you're being loyal. Are you being loyal because you want something in return from the other? Being generous because you're looking for a return. So it totally depends on how you do these two. Because if you do it from heart, then loyalty and generosity go side by side. It could be that you're doing it just from your heart, but there could always be ego in these. So I hope I answered your question.
Well, just to have clarity here, this is Sujata's question. And I think you did a brilliant job, and let's hear what Sujata has to say.
Very well said. And I like different perspectives. It's always welcome.
Wow. I feel okay now. Because, when you guys say, Hardeep, you have to think it's 8 o'clock, and, I shut the work computer down, and I was just thinking this might be something about, reality, creating, doing something. And then when you said loyalty and generosity, I'm thinking, Coach, why me? There has to be someone else in the room to pick on for a minute.
Well, I would say why you, because you have a heart, a spirit, and I think a great opportunity to share with us from your heart.
Yeah. Coach, the last couple of days, I got to speak to Ori. Talking to Ori is like talking to, I think I was scared when he was talking because, it's Ori and the accidental gangster. And his words were so strong and so powerful that it was like he came into my house and he shook me, like literally physically shook me. And this whole time I've been looking at things out of I think the poor pity, feel sorry for Hardeep part. And it wasn't from the part where, I was doing it because it was something that happened that I would be, heart-wrenching and when you lose a child and you lose them and something happens to your child. And when I spoke to Ori, I can honestly tell you, I was mum, like no words, just listened. And the man commands respect. And it just was to hear someone who knew that lifestyle, who knew where I was coming from, just to have him say those words to me was like, I needed that wake-up call. And I needed it to the point where I needed to I needed to come out of my own mindset and move to a different point and there's Ori. And so he's the one who said, quit feeling sorry for yourself and quit getting people to feel sorry for you. Get out there and get your ass type of into gear. And for 2 days since I spoken to Ori, I've been on fire. Like, there is no way in hell that I would go back. And he told me, he said some things to me that just, you don't expect someone, you always think people are being nice to you and they have to be nice to you. But Ori, God forbid, I don't want to say anything, but Ori is the Ori. Ori is the accidental gangster. He is what he says he is. And when he talks to you, like, I seriously thought he was in my house slapping me around and saying, get out of here, girl. Woman, what are you talking about? And those were the type of words I needed to hear from somebody. And it's been too long, and he did it, and it just revitalized me. And it just was just something that I needed to get out and get over and move on type of thing. So, and he's here today. I bet you he's going to say something or another. Oh, he unmuted.
Yes, I'm going to say something. I was just, they had a room at me, Dr. Finance had a room, and it was about me, over 200 people were in it. So I've been talking for 4 hours, folks. But I come into this room, I wanted to say hello to my dear friend, Coach. Coach, I talked about you and the great thing that you did for me. All right, I want to say hello to SUJATA. All right, and Heidi. Yes, I spoke to Heidi. And Heidi, you call me in a week like you said you would, okay? You keep doing what I said, okay? I'm not feeling sorry for you, honey. Let the other people feel sorry. I just want you to be better, okay? And that's it, folks. Anybody got any questions for me?
Ori, so 1 week from Wednesday. 1 week from Wednesday, I gotta call you.
Yeah. Next one.
Yeah. It's a date.
Okay. I'll talk to you then. Folks, it's 8 o'clock here. I'm exhausted. I've been talking for 4 hours.
Well, Ori, thanks for stopping in.
Thank you for coming.
My coach for you anytime, buddy.
Hey, one of the things when you come into,
thank you, and good night, everybody.
Yeah, and remember this, Ori, when you come into the to rooms that I run, you can actually relax and have fun.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that.
We're right now, I'm going to bed.
I understand.
Because I get up early in the morning. My son and his lady, they went to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Actually, I'd never been there. But my kids and my grandkids all got together. So I've been taking care of the cat. So I have to go there early in the morning. I feed the cat. I play with him. Got to clean his litter. I love him. And so I got to get up early, folks. So right. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you.
Take care, boss.
You'll see me again, Coach. I'll be in your rooms.
Always.
All right, buddy?
Take care. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hey, Kavendra, how are you?
Good morning, everyone. It's like 5 a.m. in South Africa. I just woke up and I decided to jump on here and just have a chat to everyone and see how everybody is.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. It's always good to see you, and I'm excited to see and hear how things are going. Always. I just had a very good friend of mine, Brian Truman. He and his wife just went to visit their family that live in South Africa. and spent 4 weeks with them. And he said things are slowly coming back around, which was really made me happy to hear that.
Yeah, there's a lot of change, and it's positive change. Locally, a lot of things are happening in the economy, but it's positive in the sense that households and people are more free to go out and do things, whereas there's not much restrictions. The only downside is that we've experienced major floodings in South Africa, and that's impacted and displaced a lot of people. There's about 400 people that lost their lives in the last 10 days. There's people that are without homes because their homes have been washed away and they saved themselves. So there's a lot of things happening. But what's on the positive side is, rebuild is like a refresh. It's exciting on one part, but it's always sad when you lose, life and so forth. I know that there's been water shortages, although there's a lot of rain. It's ironic there's not enough water, but those shortages are purely because water facilities have been washed away or broken. So, it's a rebuild at the stage in South Africa. It's an exciting time. I always look at it from an optimistic perspective, and that's purely because the average South African is a very resilient somebody. They always pick up, show up, and always get out and do things. So that's what's happening on our side of the world.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. We have I'm just going to invite the people in the audience up if they want to come up and be with us. Please just go ahead and raise your hand if you want to join the conversation. Otherwise, the conversation, we were just answering the question, what is the difference between loyalty versus generosity? And how is that impacting you? And what are your thoughts about it? So, Kavendra, can I put you back on the spot and have you answer that question?
Sure, the stage is always welcoming. Okay, so loyalty is like where you have a constant repeat, where you actually, if you think of it from a marketing point of view, it's repeating your purchase because of the experience you had. But when you apply it on a personal level, it's about keeping true to your word and being in the corner of that person that you are working with. A loyalty can also be from a business point of view, where you are true to your brand, your vision, your mission of your company, and you celebrate that in your everyday in terms of your work ethic. All right. So that's what loyalty for me would be. And when it comes to what's the second part? I kind of forgot about it.
Generosity.
Empathy. Okay, so for me, empathy.
No, generosity.
Oh, generosity. Okay. Generosity is where you actually show someone kindness and you show them, it's basically it's an option whether you choose to show them or not. So in general, I would say that showing a person kindness and listening to them, and giving them some of your time. I think time is something that is so precious. And if we give someone a lending ear, it's us being kind and generous at the same time. And I think that's how we're able to be generous in our giving. And that's just the simplified way of how I see things. I suppose when you think of it from your personal point of view, it's about being there for a friend, but it's also you don't need to at times. It's a choice at the end of the day. And if you choose to, then you are living with conviction, because then you're keeping true to who you are by showing someone your time and your generosity that's associated with that. That's my take off the cuff. Popcorn style. Also, thank you so much, Coach.
I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. And Sujata, did you ask Ace?
We didn't specifically ask Ace. I just validated that he's a living example of being loyal and generous.
All right. Well, Ace, there you go.
I've been thinking about that. I would think they be in the same park, plan. Generosity. I think you have to be generous to a degree to be loyal to someone. You know, and showing loyalty is generosity because you're giving yourself to the cause, right? Like a positive thing, if that makes sense. I'm a generous person. Like I was telling a friend of mine, I said, man, I need to make my heart smaller because this big heart just gets stepped on all the time. But I refuse to change who I am. Long way, and I like this person I am. It's just tough to continuously be loyal, and not say like to the people I'm loyal to, but to practice loyalty and generosity and get burnt, like, or worry about getting burnt, right? Like being burnt so many times, being loyal and generosity, and having generosity to people. But I learned from that, just knowing where you plant your seeds, right? Where you lay yourself around as far as like who you be around as people. But yeah, to me, it's like loyalty and generosity it's like in the same park. One just first base and one is third base to me. And you can't have one without the other, I would think. Yeah, because generosity, well, yeah, because if you're loyal to the Most High, you're going to be generous to the people, right? That's on this earth, or neighbors. So you're going to share. And that's showing your loyalty to the Most High of like feeding the homeless, maybe giving somebody a pair of shoes, coat, something like that. Helping an elderly person clean up the crib, things, run some errands, right? Yeah. I'm gonna land my plane with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Ace. Appreciate it. Welcome, Sean. Welcome to the room. Thank you for being here.
Sean is also a very good and dear friend of mine.
Hello, everyone. I trust you're all well.
Hello, Sean. How you doing?
In the words of Joe Walsh, life's been good to me so far.
So the question we've been answering, if you care to join in with the adventure, is what is loyalty versus generosity to you?
Well, I'm not sure that one excludes the other. Is there an obligation to actually separate them?
Nope, no obligation at all. It was just
at the same time, I can be generous, give to charities without being loyal to the charity that I give to this year as compared to next year. However, loyalty, I love it because I think it also has an emotional factor that's much greater than generosity. Generosity might be for tax reasons. It might have some personal attribute, but loyalty, yeah. I think it's an extension of love, just another parameter of love.
Love it. Thank you.
Well said, Sean. I love it too.
Well, look at that. Arjun and Noel. Hi, Noel. All right. Hi, Ma. How are you?
Hello, Mom.
Aloha.
Hi, Ma. Ma is also a friend of mine. Ma, the topic that I have chosen for today's this thing is loyalty versus generosity. What are your thoughts about it?
A moment to marinate on that.
Ma, can't hear you. Are you thinking?
Yes, yes. Here, I'm thinking. I'm having to I heard what Sean said, and I'm thinking about what he said, but then also I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a roadmap. Um, Loyalty versus generosity. Can you repeat the question, idea? What is our goal with this idea?
Just your thoughts about the topic, loyalty versus generosity. It's very simple, nothing complicated. Just your thoughts. What do you think about it?
Oh, I complicate everything. Hold on a second. Let me overthink this. I mean, loyalty. I mean, they're both good virtues to have. But also they could both be a curse. So pros and cons. Yeah, I think you can separate the two. If someone were to ask me, would I rather have a loyal friend or a generous friend, I probably would pick the loyal friend. But that's just a personal. Unless he or she were just generous with their loyalty. So, but yeah, that's my take. So, yeah.
That's a good point. Coach Les?
Well, here's my take on loyalty and generosity. For me, there's an element of loyalty that has you be generous. You're being generous with your life, with your spirit, your agreement by being loyal. And when you look at it the other way round, it doesn't work the same way as it does one way. And I think there isn't an element of being loyalty by being generous. So for me, loyalty definitely has a depth to it that reaches into the core of who we are, whereas generosity can be something that we've been taught is an action that can be as much as going to the store and buying groceries. And because you walk through the door, you give the Salvation Army $1. And on the way out, you give them all your change because that's what you grabbed. And I think that there's an opportunity, thinking of Ori Spado coming in, there's a place where he and I have a loyalty where if he calls me up, I will respond and reach out to him and give him the courtesy of responding to his out of just being a loyal friend. And stopping by and out of that loyalty just to say hello and as a respect issue, which in and of itself is an act of generosity because he doesn't have to do that. And yet his loyalty with who he is for his friends and the people that he knows, loves, and trusts, there are what I would almost call unreasonable conditions to which he will go to support you with that loyalty. And in the support thereof, could be that, well, once again, spinning it around, could be the generosity of time and space and language by coming in here and sharing all those. So they're layered, not necessarily the same, and yet provide support for each other in being generous if you are somebody who is very loyal.
I like that, Les. I like that a lot.
Thanks.
If we're generous with our most precious commodity,
time,
then we can be generous, but are we necessarily loyal? I suppose would be the question.
Yeah.
Anna, can someone be loyal blindly?
I was in a loving relationship for 25 years and quite loyal.
I think an answer to that, Ma, would be if you go back to the age of knights of the round table, and you were born into a position that had you be born into the loyalty to the crown. Does that communicate, Ma?
Like a grandfather type loyalty?
No, that you're born into it because you are the son of a duke, and the duke is loyal to the king, so therefore you inherit that loyalty.
Oh, I see. But because you don't know the king personally.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
So you're loyal to the crown, or you're loyal to the country, which therein means you're loyal to the whoever that person is.
I guess I mean like more like in relationships, like interpersonal relationships, friends, acquaintances, and such, business partners type things.
Well, I was blindly loyal, and it cost me $500,000. It's okay.
Yeah, that's tough.
And, you know, and I'm still dealing with the repercussions of it. And, you know, I look at it now, it cost me $500,000. Bank wise, it took 150 out of my 401k, plus the money along the way. And lo and behold, I got a PhD in how to do business, how to protect yourself in a partnership, what not to do blindly with blind faith or blind loyalty, as we have said. And I learned a valuable lesson. And my PhD cost me about the average of what everybody pays when they go to school.
Coach, can I ask something?
Oh, I don't know. Can you? Well,
I'm going to anyways. That's just because I have to ask. When you were saying loyal to the crown and loyal to the country, I think I would ask the person. I would like to ask. I wouldn't call that be like, for me. I'm loyal because I'm not loyal to my country because my blood runs from India, but I'm born Canadian. That means I'm just I'm not holding that loyalty to any country. I think I just hold loyalty to my to where my bloodline is, like where I come from. But I wanted to ask is, when we talk about loyalty in a relationship, isn't that something that, like, for me, I look at it with 2 coins. Like, I look at it as a coin with 2 sides. And when someone says loyal in a relationship, and when I think of marriage, intimate relationships, I think loyalty is something that it's not loyalty. I think it's more of an understanding that there's things that both people shouldn't be doing. For me, I'm just, it's when it comes to children, family, friends, and loyalty is not something that I look at is just you just give. I think loyalty is earned. I don't think you just give it. I think it's earned. And loyalty to the queen and to your country, you're born there. So for me, when I look at relationships, be it business or personal, I look at it as something that you have to earn. You earn loyalty. You don't give loyalty to someone. You have to earn that loyalty. And for me, that's something that I have always stood by, is with my friends, is I will give you something. I will give you my respect, my honor, but, I would ask that, they do that in return, even in my relationships, is that you cannot be loyal to someone if that person doesn't have the same intentions. Is that right or is that wrong? I don't know. I'm just babbling.
No, I like that babble.
Yeah, I first of all, I don't consider it babbling. And secondly, I happen to be loyal to the United States because when I moved here, I became a citizen. I joined the military and I gave my life to the American government while I was on active duty and in the military. And so for me, there's a loyalty that I have, that I chose to be loyal to this country for the very fact that they allow me to live here, allow me to work here, allow me to be part of this amazing country. And, people ask me, well, Coach Les, you're a dual citizen. I am. because in Great Britain, they choose to grant dual citizenship, just like America does. And to remove my citizenship from Britain, I would literally have to go and say that I wasn't born where I was born. And I wouldn't do that anyway. Why? Because I'm loyal to the country where I was born, just like what you said. And does that mean if Great Britain went to war and it wasn't with the United States and they did a call to action for me to allow myself to go and be I don't look at it as being beholden. I look at it as an honor to be loyal to this country. Does that communicate, Hardeep?
Yeah, because, sort of and sort of not, because I don't serve the Canadian Army, and that's just because I don't serve the Canadian Army, and that's because I choose not to serve the Canadian Army. We come in boats. Remember, we don't have an army. We have little paddle boats, and we only got one. So I'm just joking. That was a joke. But I find it as like when you serve a country, you're not doing it out of loyalty. You're doing it as a commitment to that country. I just don't see it how you're being loyal to them, but you're serving as a commitment to that country. I just think of it in a different way, is because I can be loyal to India and I can be loyal to Canada. It doesn't mean that I'm not loyal to them where I would serve for them. I commit myself to my two countries. And that's where I just wanted to make sure that, my babbling is not babbling or whatever. I don't know. I think you're all right. I'm just going off on my own little tangent now. Forget it, Coach. Just forget it, Coach. Don't answer it anymore, Coach. I'm done.
I would like to say something.
Is it by any chance possible to distinguish between the two, where in loyalty there is an exchange? If we take Les's example, he came to the United States and he committed in the form of exchange his loyalty for a job, for certain rights, for an existence. Whereas love can come from a place you don't necessarily have to expect love in return. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes, that's Sean, you got it. I'm so glad that you understood what I was saying. Thank you.
Actually, Sean most of the time always gets it, since I've been in rooms with him. And what I wanted to share was that in some context, there's a difference between loyalty and duty. When we talk of, towards the government or institutions, like where you were born or where you are, it could also be, termed as duty in some cases, because I may be born somewhere, but if I'm not treated well, I don't think I'd be loyal to the country that I was born in just because I was born there. And loyalty has to resonate with my feeling. I will take Sean's word that you have to have some amount of love to be loyal. I mean, you can't be loyal to either family, friends, or partners, or even clients or business people unless you have some respect, some honor, something which is a positive emotion, and not just because you are supposed to. When we are enforced with a certain sense of being loyal versus truly being loyal, there's a difference in that, I would say.
Can I be loyal to my job but hate it?
Yes, of course you can. You would be being loyal by showing up, every week, every day, whether you like it or not like it.
Coach, how's that possible? How could you be? I don't get that. I don't understand that. How can you be loyal to a job but still hate it? Like, and you're not. No, that you just confused me. You and Sean just confused me, and I'm already confused.
So here's my question, Hardeep. Are you your emotions, or do you have emotions?
Well, I have emotions, and I use emotions, but I have emotions.
You
like
do.
I feel,
Yep.
and
But you are not your emotions. You create your emotions. You have a thought, and then your thought creates an emotion, and then you may have a physical response based on that thought that creates an emotion. Correct?
Yes, Coach, that is correct.
Awesome. So therefore, being loyal to your job has nothing to do with the thoughts that are in your head about whether or not you have an emotion towards the job.
Yes, you're right. Because I can hate going to work every day, Monday to Friday, but as a loyal employee, I show up to do that job. That's correct.
Ding,
Got
ding,
it.
ding,
Never
ding.
mind. Got it. Yep. Clued in. Click.
Communication is my jam, Hardeep.
What? Okay, Coach. God, very well said, Coach. Very well.
I love, my favorite topic is integrity. How's that for being a weird person?
I'm just gonna say, Coach, you have made me laugh, and I haven't laughed in a room like for a long time. You just saying that has just made me laugh. I'm just enlightened. Like, this is great. This is good for my soul right now.
Go ahead, Sujata.
I'm waiting for the others to go ahead.
Okay, Kavendra, you're being awfully quiet for somebody who I know has a tremendous amount of jam in this area.
Well, I like your points on integrity always, but I think it's your passion that supersedes how you feel about it. And I think you're extremely loyal to Zig Ziglar and the teachings of it, and I think you're passionate, and that's why you celebrate it in your generosity of sharing rooms and sharing your information. So that I appreciate about you. No, I kind of like what Sean was saying, but I also agreed with the other gentleman. I think it's about they have a play on each other, and there's an underlying current of the actual feeling or emotion associated with it. When you're generous, you feel you are in a position to give off. When you are loyal, you are saying that I've got your back, I'm in your corner. So there's that a little bit of like it's kind of interplayed on each other. And I think that it's important for us to always remain gracious in ourselves and understanding who we support or who we kind of have in our safe corner. I always say that your family, for me, has been one of the people that I've been loyal to. Because if it comes to a decision making, sometimes my decisions are clouded by the feelings of loyal or commitment to my family, and you will always try your best to put someone in a better place. And that is a form of generosity. but I think it's interlinked at some point, and I think it's choice of that individual as to whether you are born in a country and therefore you're loyal to that country, or whatever the case is. I just think that it boils down to the simplified version of your care, your kindness, and your love. And I think the critical thing is about who you choose to spend your time with. Often time is undervalued because we take it for granted. But when you're running out of time and you speak to a person that's dying and you ask them, like, you sit next to their bed. And I've had friends that passed away with HIV and sitting at their bedsides and knowing that as the clock ticks away, that they are going to pass away. It's like this definite. But yet the irony of life is we could die at any given time. We could cross the road and find ourselves we could die. That could happen instantly. But the strange thing is that when you've got a person that's dying, you become loyal, you become generous in your time. You sit at the bedside. And I watched my friend die in my arms, sitting there, and there's a sense of helplessness and emotion felt. But there was a part of me that was relieved, because I was relieved this person I could be honored to be there at the last breath of this person. And that's my loyalty to the person. But the generosity was the fact that I could give up my time and just simply be in the moment. And I think a lot of it is how you choose your moments and how you celebrate it. And for me, when it comes to emotions felt, on one hand, I was like upset, but on the other hand, I was relieved that this person actually, I was there for them. And that was my commitment and that was my loyalty to them. And I think the generous thing is the family allowed me to be there until the last breath. And for me, that was very generous of them. But that is because I have the committed belief in that person. And, going through treatments and watching people go through cancer and all sorts of things, I've always been, I always feel that my purpose has always been fulfilled by the kindness and the generosity I show others. So this is a personal choice. And I think that's what I've been doing. And it's also made me feel wholesome. It made me understand life, understand myself, understand the value I bring to the table. Because often we let others evaluate us, but we don't appreciate ourselves enough to say, I bring value, I contribute in a way that's generous, kind, and loving. That's my contribution for now, Coach. I don't take up the stage for now. I can go on talking if you'd like.
Sujata just smiled, so if you'd like to, you sure can.
So the stories go, and part of storytelling is sharing these emphasis of desire of life. And I think that, with my grandma, she's always said, where you can help someone, reach out to show them that they have a belonging, that they can be cared for. Because often we don't know a person's journey, and we don't know what's brought them to this point. And, I always argue, what is life if life is taken from a young age? So just the other day, we remembered a little child that was born, and the child had cancer 6 months later, and subsequently the following 6 months went for treatment and passed away. And it was my cousin's child. And we were having a little memorial in memory of the child the other day in a prayer. And my cousin said, why is this child brought on earth to be taken so suddenly? And then I look at all the pictures and the memories and everything that is around, and the fact that we are together as a family. That loyalty and that commitment that we have with each other is celebratory of this child's life, however short-lived it was. It brings us closer, it unifies us as families, and it unifies us as society. And I think that those critical elements are clear. And, when COVID started in South Africa, I immediately said, what is it that I can do? What impact can I do that's going to actually help someone at that very moment? And I didn't need to do that. I could have been selfish and cleared the supermarket shelves that I saw many a time happen. But I decided to give during the time where people were suffering, and I took the chance. But I knew in my heart that this is the right thing to do, to look after someone. And whether it's my personal like family that's going through hardships of loss, but it's also looking at the greater picture, that what's the essence of life if it's not living the moment to the fullest? What is the essence of joy if you cannot give generously? I opened my home, my cupboards. I was making sandwiches and I was making all sorts of things. We created a makeshift shelter out of our local community center, and it's still running today. And we've gotten about 42 people off the streets, and we've got them into jobs, and they are now producing or contributing towards society. Did I need to do this? The answer is no, I didn't need to. Did I want to do it? Yes, because I believe, and this comes back to your belief systems and how intertwined it is in how you grow up, or the family you are loyal to, and how that family allows you the platform to basically rise. And I always have this theory: if you believe someone better off than you found them, then you've just raised the bar. And often it's not a sense of give and take, but when you give in a level of generosity, the kindness that you experience and that joy and fulfillment that it brings to your life is far more priceless than the money you have or the possessions you own. What is a possession if tomorrow you close your eyes and that possession is just an object? But if that object or whatever, I use food as an example, because the homeless shelter has now become a central point for the community that I live in. And to see people employed, to see people making a vegetable garden and selling their fresh produce at the local farmers market, or it's just amazing. And to see people thrive, it's just an exciting feeling for me as a person. And for me, if I had to pass away, I'd want to be remembered for the legacy that I've created and the lives that I've touched along that. And that is really living a generous life. So if you ask yourself, is my glass half full or is it full? I think in life, if you start absorbing the ideology that you are completely full, that you've been given the task of God to be able to uplift others and make an impactfulness, then that is what I surrender to, and that is the peace within my soul. I often pause because I have the ability to acknowledge the moment and embrace it for what it's worth. And it comes with action. And I think it's not all talk and just action. I think you talk if you're willing to share ideas and uplift others. You're willing to action because you can see your actions not just leaving a sense of loyalty, but it's building communities, it's building lives. It's impactful for generations to come. And it starts with just one person. As Mahatma Gandhi always, when he's made changes in South Africa in the political system, even though it happened many years ago, but one of his famous quotes is, leave a place better than you found it by being the change that you seek in it. So be the change. And it starts with just an individual mindset, just changing. It's just a shift in a way that you see something and you're able to do it. If you can, you're in a privileged position to help another. And if you embrace it, then that is the generousness that you bring to your every moment of your life. And if you just let go, stop being frustrated about life, just let go of those things that you don't control, and you realize to live, you don't need a lot. To live, you just need to be yourself. And often we don't know our authentic selves. And I think that often those, it's like looking at yourself in the mirror and acknowledging that person. How often have you asked yourself, what is it that I want? Am I happy? Because when you're in a position that you have identified who you are, then you're in a position to create loyalty, to be the fabric that you are twining, or the material that you are creating. And that substance and joy is not just a moment, it's being impactful so that you can lead others, you can actually teach others. And Coach, you do a good job of that, where your generosity of time is so overwhelming at times. And I think about you, I'm like, wow, I'm not going to drink a bottle of wine with this man. I'm going to drink many bottles, because the conversation's going to flow, and I get excited about those things. And I think this is where I am in life. This is what I feel life for me has become. It's become simplified, because when I started life, I got so confused of what I wanted and what I needed, and I never understood what I was about. And when I started acknowledging myself, I started becoming true, genuine, and sincere. And that loyalty starts with being loyal to myself. Waking up, showing up, making the effort, whether it be work, home, play, whatever the case is. But it's even if you're doing a gym workout. I mean, Coach, I know you mentioned that you are busy bringing things that you did in your 20s now back to where you are now. And I think that's important, because you are identifying with what made you feel the person you are, to get your strength, get your help. It's amazing. And I think these are things that we often know, but we don't practice enough. And when we start practicing, and when you start valuing yourself, then I believe generosity starts with yourself. I believe that loyalty to yourself is being committed to yourself. And through that is your platform in which you can help other people raise their bar, understand themselves, and give them the opportunity to thrive and strive to be the best version of themselves on a daily basis. I'm Kavendra, and I'm complete for now. I'm thinking and talking, so you can hear I'm saying this, that, the other, but I hope the contribution is be positive and impactful to everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kavendra. Thank you for being here. And Sujata, that brings us to 88 minutes. Are you ready to do roll call and hang up the mic?
Yes, I can do that. Though you do that better than me.
Oh, no, I just wanted to see your opinion. That was the main question.
Well, if I would like closing thoughts, or any more thoughts, if Ace, Hardeep, Sean would like to put their comments or observations, then I would like to hear that. I see Noel in the audience. If she wants to come up and share, most welcome. If not, then we shall close the room.
I just want to say I enjoyed the room. It was so insightful and so it just gave a huge different light. And I like what Kavendra was saying, where about the half full cup and the full cup. It's how we see the cup, actually. Like, to me, I always say, people say when the cup, it depends on what the cup size is too. So I really always say that my cup is full. Half full, it's not empty, because there's still something in the cup for me to look for. And so I really, really enjoyed what Kavendra had to say. It was just very enlightening. And it's so interesting to hear people use that ideology about the half full cup and the full cup, because not a lot of people use that today. Usually when they have a half full cup, they still say it's empty. And to me, it's not empty. It's a full cup. It just depends on how you see the cup. So I really, really thank you, Kavendra, for saying what you did. It was just very, very insightful. And Coach Les and SUJATA, what an amazing room. I thank you, Coach Les. Every time now I have you on my always. So now I'm going to follow you around now. I'm going to be like a shadow.
I love it. And I'd like to put, Kavendra created a cake with a beautiful icing, and I want to put a cherry on the top. in this conversation about the cup, because I created something a few years ago, and that was the distinction of an empty cup. And the empty cup, to me, I get excited when I have an empty cup. And the reason I'm excited because I have an empty cup, because it's full of possibility for me to fill it up.
Yes, that that is not only the cherry, but to give an extension of Coach Les and the room, I have to say this, and it's maybe ironic or it may be relevant. You can choose your words for this room. When we came into the room, there were only just the two of us. And why am I mentioning this is because Coach Les, you can call it loyalty, you can call it generosity, or it is a mixture of both. But Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, Coach Les has this room, and which he has taken from my book. We discuss life topics from it. And he's very clear that, even if there are just the two of us, we will go ahead and we will talk and discuss, and people can come back and listen if they don't have the time to come in. However, I have to say this, that most of the people who are on stage are here because I feel they're also loyal and they're very generous. I, Coach Les, I think may validate this, that I am very loyal to the rooms that I go into. Coach Les's room and some other rooms, like, Sean knows if Sean has a room, I will always go in. And Ace is always there. If I will ping him in and ask him to come, he will come. And including Ori, when he came in, I did tell him on WhatsApp that, please grace this room with your presence. And he came in, even if it was 5 minutes, but that is what is called loyalty and generosity. So I have to thank all of you for being here, because, giving time is one of the greatest form of respect. And on a Friday night, of course, people can do so many other things. You make a choice to come in and be a part of a discussion. And that's what respect, honor, loyalty, generosity, it all combines. And with that, I will hand it over back to you, Coach Les.
SUJATA, before
Yes.
you leave the room, may I?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
of course.
Brief statement, yes. After having listened to all of you, and the conversation was absolutely delicious. Thank you all so much. A thought comes to mind, and it appears that it is perspective that is key. And it reminds me of a story that I heard once about two men on opposite sides of a river. The first man yelled across the river to the other man, "Hey, I need your help crossing the river. I need your help getting to the other side." And the other one yells back, "But you're already on the other side."
Amen. Oh. Hi, Noel.
Aloha, happy Aloha Friday.
Hi.
Hi, yeah. So I like to listen, and I'm doing things. So if I'm on the stage, I might butt my thing, and so I don't come up. But thank you very much for appreciating the audience. I'm an audience member. I don't really look to appreciation, but to understand that people show up because they do, and they want to learn, and they also want to support. It was really kind. So good on you. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Well, to me, once again, here I am with a cherry. The cherry on top of that is, for me, I always acknowledge the listening, because in this room we have three places to listen from. We have the audience, we have the coaches lounge, and we have the stage. And without listening, there's no rooms. And so for me, the listening is the most important part of the room is the listening. And so,
hey Coach.
Yep.
I do business development and creative. The secret actually is to pay attention to listeners, and that's not me looking for attention, but in marketing and understanding, it's all about user experience. So good on you for saying that as well, Coach.
Yeah, it's a fun journey. This Clubhouse journey is an interesting journey, and I watch people come and go. There's a couple people that I've watched that are successful in their own right, have good businesses, and I heard one of them the other day say, "Yeah, I haven't been on Clubhouse in a long time because I'm so busy." And I think about that statement, and I look and go, "Well, how did you get to be busy? You got to be busy by being here on Clubhouse and pouring into the community, people seeing, and then people investing. And if you suddenly leave Clubhouse, to me, that means you're not loyal, for one thing. And it also means you're stingy with your time and not generous with your time. And why do I say that? It's, for me, no matter how busy I get, I maintain these rooms as a way of saying thank you to Clubhouse for creating this stage to provide a new level of experience for my business. And then inside of that, my thank you resonates out to the people that are here that share the stage with me. So thank you all. I appreciate it. I honor it. And SUJATA, anything you want to say before we do the Mission Impossible?
We appreciate, we honor it, and we just love everybody who comes in here to listen and to speak. Thank you so much.
And Liz and Heather down there, do me a favor. We would love it if you come and visit. We will be having this room again. Will be with SUJATA. We'll be here next Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday evening. So we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. We thank you for being here. And I'm excited to see how the week goes so that we can have lots of information to share with you on the upcoming week. Hi, Liz.
Hello. Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. What would you like to share with us about loyalty and generosity as a closing thought?
They're both attractive and beneficial traits to have, and I aspire to be more in tune with those traits every day. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm super excited to see that you're a proud American tea consumer.
Yes, I am trying to be on my very best behavior because if I might share, every Friday night I co-mod a room called Atheist Jews Drinking Wine While Reading the Torah, and we just wrapped up. So I'm very much well read and well drunk.
No problem. And I'm a Tessie's tea fan. If anybody ever wants to look, Dr. Rose is on Clubhouse, and she created this brand called Tessie's Teas. And there's a ginger one and a mint with ginger one. And they are a miracle. They really are miraculous.
I do appreciate a good mint tea recommendation. Thank you.
You're welcome. And they're made with crystals, so all you have to do is add hot water, and they're made with cane sugar. Ooh. Which reminds me, I have one sitting right here that I have not yet touched. So cheers to you all. And if is anybody else that would like to share before I close down the shop? Sujata, want to say anything? There's a shake from her head.
See you all soon. Bezrat Hashem.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Liz. Good night.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. Good night, Noel. Good night, Sean. Good night, Hardeep. Good night, Kavendra. Good night, Ace.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
And
thanks, Sujata. Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
This room will self-destruct in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this broadcast here on good old StreamYard would love to say it is ready to rock and roll.
Coaching with Les has doubled my practice.
If you have any struggles in your business or your personal life, Les is your guy.
He's logical, he's empathetic, he has passion for helping people, and his ideas are genuinely thoughtful.
So if you're looking for a business coach with integrity, choose Les Hill.